Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dylan Bennis and today we're going to be playing Stellaris. Probably one of my most enjoyed experiences in a space strategy building type game. It really keeps you on your toes. You really have to think about things and, plan ahead. That way the other alien races don't end up massacring you and you're just left there as their little pet. The purpose of this video is to give someone that's never played this game an opportunity to see what the gameplay is actually like, and also to see if they would like to play the game, or maybe they already played the game and they're just looking for strategies and better techniques to play. So today I'm going to be focusing on more of like what I would do if I was, just trying out the game. So we'll go ahead and start a new game. And we'll just use one of these basic ones. We have either United Nations of Earth or the Commonwealth of Man. So you can see here, I'll go back to the first one, that there's different democratic type of governments. So this one's a representative democracy. And then these are some of the, perks and profiles that you kind of start off with. So either we can be kind of a peaceful people that are, more open to having aliens as friends, or if we wanted to play as someone who is more afraid of aliens and doesn't really want them as friends and would rather just kind of get rid of them. I think for this one, and also there's a couple of other races. I shouldn't say races because they're aliens. There's a couple of different alien races that are also available to start off with. I personally don't like playing with the other aliens. Like the mammal ones are okay, but like the fungoid looking ones I'm not such a fan of, just because they all look the same. Or not the same, but they have small differences. But when you're looking at your heroes and your scientists and your leaders and stuff like that, it's harder to tell them apart. So I personally would rather just stick with humans. So since this is more directed towards anyone that's never played the game before, we're going to start it off with maybe just someone who's peaceful, like the United Nations of Earth. So we'll go ahead and select that. And from here we can go ahead and select galaxy size, the galaxy shape, how many other empires there are. There's just a ton of things. Usually I take out the fallen empires because they're super overpowered, but seeing as how most people do leave them in, I'll leave them in so that way you can see what they're like. Just imagine that if I clicked no, that I wouldn't have two massively overpowered empires also in the mix. This is basically what a normal game would probably look like. So I think that we'll just stick with this. This will be a good way for you guys to see what it is kind of like. Let's get started. Alright, the United Nations of Earth. Much has happened since modern humans first emerged in Africa some 200,000 years ago. Our kind spread rapidly across most of the globe, and soon the first civilization took form. Scientific progress has been swift, though not without cost. Wars claimed millions of lives even before the atom was tamed, and the turmoil of the 21st century saw the mandate of the United Nations gradually expanded in an effort to create stability. By the early 22nd century, the supranational organization had become a de facto world government. Sounds like real life. Though some still resent the power wielded by the UN, as evidenced during the Titanian police action of '88, few can deny the technological breakthroughs that have come out of its sponsored research programs. With the recent completion of the first true starships, mankind is about to embark on a new era of space exploration. Alright, that sounds exciting. So, if this is your first time playing, right here on the right we have our pause button. If you click it, it'll make you go play, and then you can see that this is the speed at which you're playing the game. You also have normal speed. You can slow down the game and go to all sorts of slowest, and then you can also speed up the game all the way to fastest, so days will just fly by. So we'll go slowest since we're kind of going through a tutorial. I usually play on the second fastest, which is just fast, especially in the beginning because it's kind of slow in the beginning. Over here on the right, here actually I'll just pause. This is our outliner. We can also hide this by clicking on that. This is going to show you, what planets you control. So for example, we control Earth. This is how many shipyards, this is our military fleets, and these are our civilian ships such as construction ships and science vessels, and later on we'll have colony vessels also. Now over here, shoot, I didn't realize that I would be in the way of this. I can't see. Okay, so this is going to be tough to play without being able to see all this. Let me just click on it. Okay, so this one's not that important. This one just tells you, the type of government. If your credits, which is energy credits, which is kind of like your power, is, negative or positive, but you can just see that right there. This one is all the other alien empires that will eventually, pop up, and you'll be able to see how powerful they are, or if they're friendly or not, if they're in a federation, if you're at war with them. It also tells you how many systems they have, and what their population is. And it says only 8, but that's how many tiles, which we'll go into, actually have like a population on a tile. So I don't know, I just figure maybe one tile is 1 billion people. I don't know, because 8 billion doesn't seem that far-fetched. Situation log lets us know what is going on. So President Dolores Muwanga, excuse me guys, that came out of nowhere, was selected on a platform by increasing mineral output. So by building mineral stations, which we need to build 4 of them, we will gain 50 to 1,000 unity. I'm not sure why it's 50 to 1,000, but I'm pretty sure it's just 50. And I'll go over that in a second. Our technology, which is basically, everything that we study that's going to make us more technologically advanced. These are the scientists that we start off. They're all level 1, and they can rank up, and depending on, what type of characteristics you give them, some of them can actually go up higher levels, and they have different specialties. So this one gives an additional 5% research speed, which is clutch. But even better is this one. This one's research speed times 10 or plus 10%, because she has Spark of Genius or whatever, and so does he. So we actually have some really smart scientists right off the back, which is huge. So you'll go ahead and you'll collect your research, and then also the blue is physics, the green is society, and yellow is engineering. Those are the 3 major, I guess, focuses for science. And then I think right off the back, I think having blue lasers would be better, just because eventually they're going to have to shoot people. Shields are good too, and physics lab is good once you kind of have things moving along. So real quick, I'll break this down. If you kind of hover over these little circles, it kind of tells you exactly what specific physics field it is. So this is field manipulation or computing and particles. So if your scientist has a field manipulation bonus right here instead of this research speed, they'll get a bonus for researching this type of science for physics. And so it also tells you how many days it will take for them to study this. So it's a good note to point out that, you know, the longer it takes, you know, the more you kind of fall behind. So you usually want to study things that aren't super long right at the beginning, so that way you can get some more things moving along. I'm gonna do blue lasers because I know that, you know, moving forward, lasers are my favorite weapon. They never miss and they go through shields like crazy, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's not shield, it's armor damage that they do. And for pirates, they have like no shields, so it just murders pirates, which we will run into later on. So we'll collect that, or select that, and it's gonna take 61 months, so it's kind of a long time. And then for society, we can either do farm subsidies, which also gives us another hydroponic farm, and that way we can produce more food, and if we have a surplus of food, we'll actually repopulate and keep populating faster. Biolab and population growth speed. So I think at the beginning, population growth speed of 10% is going to be a much bigger bonus than having additional food. So I personally am going to select that. And then for our engineering department, since we already went ahead and selected blue lasers, coil guns, which is like, let's see, their coil guns are more powerful versions of early mass drives using electromagnetic coils to rapidly accelerate projectiles towards targets. It's basically another type of weapon. I don't think we need it right now. I think what's more important, which they actually do a ton of damage to shield, but not so much to armor, which is what pirates have, and that's probably going to be our first, you know, threat. But the mining network is what's going to really allow us to produce more minerals, which we're going to go over in just a second. And this is going to be huge for your game, because the more minerals you produce, the more ships, the more buildings. Everything is dependent on minerals and energy in the most part. So we'll collect that. Now, this bar right here is your energy grid, or your energy credits. I call it an energy grid, whatever, same thing. Energy grid's actually a building, so I guess I shouldn't call it that. But it tells you, you know, what your monthly gain is, which is your positive, if you're increasing or not. It tells you the max you could store. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm tired. And then we also have obviously minerals, which does the exact same thing. It tells you what you're positive, or if you're going negative, how many you're storing. It also tells you in the red what is costing you minerals and what is costing you energy. So good to keep track of that. We also have food. So we produce 10 and we eat 8 because we have a population of 8. And once this, you know, fills up to a maximum of 200, which we can actually change later. I shouldn't say the maximum, but right now that's our setting, is at 200 and above. We'll be hitting a surplus and we'll get a bonus towards population growth. Now we have influence, and this has kind of changed from, you know, the update that they recently did. It used to have a little bit more play in my personal opinion, but it's still important. It is basically like, you know, what other what other alien races think of you, and, you know, if you're really powerful, or if you have a large, you know, society, you know, types of things that make people kind of go, wow, this guy is powerful. That's your influence. As you can see, their influence represents political clout, and it's used for many things like enacting edicts, making claims, building outposts, and dealing with factions. The gain rate remains fairly consistent throughout the game, but can be increased by winning the support of factions in your own empire and declaring other enemies or empires your rivals. Now, by doing that, making them your rival, you basically guarantee to be enemies with them, which isn't really great if you're, you know, just starting off. So be careful with that. This is your unity, and unity is basically kind of like its own tech tree, I guess you could say. It's used to unlock new traditions, quote unquote, which, you know, give you different like bonuses and abilities and stuff like that. So unity, in my opinion, is huge, because you can get some really good bonuses by unlocking unity traditions. And if I click on it, you can actually see that, you know, we have expansion, domination, prosperity, harmony, discovery, diplomacy, and supremacy. Now, personally, I think going discovery right off the back is the best way to go, because if you look at it right off the back, you get anomaly discovery chance increased by 20%, and that's a pretty huge, you know, factor, because when you're first starting off, you're basically sending out science vessels to look at everything, and the more anomalies that pop up, the better, because it's going to offer you more options for different minerals and technologies and different sciences. So I would recommend that just because of that, but also because you get right here off the back, to boldly go. A new age of exploration is upon us. As we once mapped the surface of our homeworld, we must now brave our new terrain space, or brave new terrain space. This is a galaxy full of wonder waiting to be discovered. So basically, make your survey speed by 35% increased. So that's huge. And then also, science ship disengagement chance is increased by half. So that's also huge, because you don't want your science ship getting blown up. It's just a pain in the butt. So you want them to get in, get out, boom, boom. And that survey speed is huge. So once you get that, this one's not that great. Research alternatives. So if you click on that, it'll give you 4 options to research for your technology, which is actually kind of nice. But then later on down the line, you gain 3 Unity equal to 3 months of production whenever a new technology is researched. So in the beginning, you go through technology quite a bit faster, because everything is relatively not that advanced. So by hitting all this extra Unity, which is basically, like it says, equal to 3 months of production, which you can see right up here, that's your monthly production, you really massively gain on Unity. So my goal is to fill that up first. Gosh darn it. Okay, I gotta drink some water. Gotta wake up a bit. And then this isn't really that great, in my opinion. Allows science ships to assist research. That's more towards like the end of the game, but I do it right away anyways, because then you see the finishing effect is that my research speed is increased by 10 additional %, and we unlock 1 ascension perk, which is right in here. So I like that they also have another research ascension pack that we'll see later on, that I will be selecting, because research is like the whole game. Let me just let you guys know that if you want to win the game, be the most technologically advanced. Nobody can touch you if you're the most technologically advanced. So with that said, we'll close that. This is your physics research, your society research, and your engineering research. So this lets you know how much you're pulling in, and you can get this from your science buildings on your planets, or some systems actually have, like this one for example, has engineering research available. This right here is the amount of colonized systems that you have. You can go over 3, but once you do, there starts to become a negative effect on like your energy credits and all that kind of stuff. So I don't recommend it unless you really need that planet for resources. You will be able to unlock later on through technologies and through traditions an ability to raise the amount of systems that you can colonize, which is aka planets. They call them systems, but it's planets. But you can actually, or I'll show you guys later, but we'll skip that part. So this is your naval capacity. This is how many ships basically you can have, or the fleet size that you're allowed to maintain. And once you go over that amount, then it starts to have a trickling negative effect on your credits. So you can go over if you're in a state of war, but it will cost your economy. This is your starbase capacity, which is a newer feature under the new update, which actually was a couple months ago, so it's not really that new anymore. But if you were used to the old version, this used to not be a thing. But starbases are basically the new way that you control territory, and they're kind of good for creating choke points, so that way you can control a larger section and block enemies from kind of getting around you. And then strategic resources, we'll just have to get into those as we find them. Basically, they do things as much as add 10% more damage to lasers, or increase your mineral production, or increase food production. Or actually, I don't think there is a mineral production. It's food production. They have different science ones. Just all kinds of stuff. They keep, making new strategic resources. So the more strategic resources, the better off you're going to be. So let's go ahead and zoom out real quick. You guys are probably like, shut up and just play the damn game. I'll zoom out real quick. So this is our galaxy. It's pretty massive. So we're way over here. And we have this entire galaxy that has like 8 to 10 other aliens, empires. And some of them are already really big and some of them are dinky just like ours, which is just one. Now when you're traveling, you can only travel on these hyperspace lanes. And in order to travel on them, see how it's like lit blue and then it's like kind of like gray? You have to send a science ship first. So if you send, you know, like a fleet or a construction ship, it won't be able to make it. It's just going to be like, nope, we can't go there because it hasn't been explored yet. So this is where having that exploration and survey speed is phenomenal. So let's go ahead. Let's go. If you can either like click choose galaxy map to go back, or I don't want to do that, or you can just double click it. So right off the back, I can see that, hey, there's a not collected minerals, and you can tell because they're not green. So obviously this one's green, so we are currently collecting from that source. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on your construction ship. You're going to right click either on the rock, or I just like to click right on here. I think it's easier to hit. And you're going to left click build mining station, and what you're going to see is way up here is it's going to subtract 67 minerals from your 212, just like that. And then you see this little, you know, line. That means that he's basically on task and he's heading there right now. So let's build, or let's play. Turn the speed up to normal, I guess. Why not? It's pretty boring in the first, like, I'd say like year of being in space. And then we'll take our science ship, who also has a scientist. Her ability is that she gains experience 25% faster, and you can, you know, change these scientists out. So let's say that this one actually is better suited for, you know, researching, then you can actually swap them out. So we'll go ahead and go out to the galaxy map, and let's take a look here. If I was, you know, trying to maximize the amount of time, I would want to, you know, try to get all the ones around me first, because you want to know what's going on. So you're going to take your science ship, you left click, and then you're going to right click and click survey system. If you click explore, they'll fly there and they'll create like a navigational chart for other ships to also go there, but you won't know what's in that system. So you want to click survey system, and he's gonna, you know, go and check out what's in there. So while our construction guy is building a mineral collector on this asteroid, I guess, I'm not really sure if it's an asteroid or not. It's probably an asteroid. And then he's going to go check out that. So you've already used your two, you know, main ships. I mean, you can build more, and actually I personally usually build 2 science ships right off the bat. So if you want to do that, you're going to click on your shipyard, and you're going to click, right now you're on Starbase. You can also build more defenses with defense platforms, which you can upgrade, and then there's the shipyard. And then this is actually for your fleet that's militarized. That's my bad, I actually forgot that that's the way it is now. You had to click on Earth and then click Spaceport, and that's where you can build science ships and construction ships. So let's build another science ship. It costs us 100, so now we're down to 93. So it's like, oh, we just used like 80% of our minerals right off the back, but I think it's worth it.
Construction complete.
Fantastic. Construction of the UNS Yukon completed. Sorry guys, I don't know if I'm just like dyslexic today or what, but I can't read. UNS Yukon completed the construction of a mining station in orbit of 2 Palace. And you can actually like change the names of this, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see? So you could like make it like mining station 1, mining station 2. I mean, there's not really a point to do that, but you can do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and select this. Oh, I just wanted to select the builder. I don't want to. And we're going to send them over here. We're going to right click and we're going to build another mining station, but this time we're going to get credits. There we go. So now we're on the way. So this guy already, in order to jump to the next system, you have to get outside of this ring right here. Oh good, our other science ship. So let's slow it down. We know it's kind of slow. We'll click on the science ship. Now we're going to have to buy another scientist. So we're going to click assign leader, and these are all of our scientists that are being, you know, used for stuff. We're going to click recruit, and this is how much it costs. So we're not ready yet. We're going to be there probably in a couple of weeks, But I'm definitely gonna buy 5 research speed. I guess we don't really need any of these guys in particular. I'll probably click him. I usually try to go for the younger ones because the older they are, the sooner they're gonna die. So I'll probably buy him in just a couple of weeks. And then let's go ahead, let's click on Earth, which is, or it could be any name, but this one just happens to be called Earth. That's our home planet. And this is going to tell you like what your resource output is, your habitability, which, you know, the higher your habitability, the happier your people are going to be and the more shit they get done. So this is the surface of Earth. I know it's not that exciting. I guess it kind of looks like that now. I don't know. So you can see each tab has its own type of resources. You can change this by, let's say I wanted to build a mining facility and I didn't want any more food. I could put build and then click on a mining facility. But if I do that, it's going to destroy its natural resource production. So if I built a hydroponics farm, it would just add those 2 foods plus the natural one. So I try to leave it so, you know, if I have like a natural resource that is, you know, somewhat decent or that I need, I try to, you know, keep it so, you know, green goes with green, red goes with red, yellow goes with yellow. Makes sense. And then these are going to be our Unity buildings. This is going to come in handy pretty soon too. Like this is already filling up. You can see that it tells you how many more months until it's full, and then we can go ahead and click on Discovery. So let's check out this one. He's over here. He goes basically from planet to planet, scanning them. Ooh, fancy, right? Just like so. He's like, oh, what's going on over here? He's probably going to find energy credits because, well, it's a sun. Wow, this one has like a sun. Maybe it'll be a science one because there's like a sun right here. This one has like 3 suns. That's kind of cool. Wow, they've kind of changed the game a little bit. It didn't used to be like so circular all the time. Oh well. So there's like another planet. It's kind of cool looking. That's one thing I love about this game is it's very cool looking. So he didn't find anything, which is a bummer, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. He's gonna have to go to each and every planet and star, and sometimes they'll find like debris and random things. So yeah, so see, he's just kind of like checking it out, giving it a little scan. If you click on him, you can see surveying, and he tells you how far along he is. Not looking too promising, but we don't know. So hopefully, you know, you can see his route right here. And then if you hold shift and right click on the next system, you can go ahead and have him survey that one once he finishes this one. So he's going to survey all of these, which gives that scientist experience. And he's going to move down to here, and he's going to do the same thing. And if you hold shift and right click on this one, he's going to do the same thing, and the same thing. And he's just going to work his way around all the way. Hopefully, by the time he gets like here or here, we'll have enough credits to buy another science ship, and I'll send him out this way, and I'll have him kind of check out all these ones over here. So that way, I can have one kind of going this way, and one kind of going this way. And really, you know, when you're starting off, you want to get an idea of what your surroundings are like, how close you are to another race right off the back, so that way you're like, okay, I gotta get ready ASAP, or hey, I got plenty of room, I'm not that worried. So if you double click on Earth, it'll take you right back to it, and this goes ahead and it tells you that hey, so and so is growing, or yeah, their growth progress. So I guess they're, I don't know, it's going to be like the next person on that tile. And these are the resources
construction complete
that will be collected once the person's born, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But yeah, pretty straightforward. It kind of takes a while to get up there until you start getting, you know, either a super excess of food, or if you have some type of research to make it go faster. And then you see how like there's like yellow like caution over all this stuff, sprawling slums. Oh no. So if you want, you can clear this but it costs 100 credits. So maybe not right off the back, but later in the game you'll want to clear all these so that way you can move other population units to them, or just wait until we keep growing, and eventually we'll fill up every single every single slot. And once at that point, basically you'll want to go ahead and move to another planet and colonize that planet, which I will show you guys how to do. Once you colonize another planet, usually one of the people on your home planet will begin migrating, and you'll be able to see them that they're migrating, and it takes a little while, but eventually they'll migrate to the new planet, and then you will start growing again because you'll have an open slot. So this is your armies tab, your garrison strength, your combat width. So basically we have 3 planetary guard defense armies, which is not a lot, but in the beginning that's plenty. Once we kind of get a little bit farther into the game, we'll talk about, you know, like fleets and armies and strategies to go ahead and, you know, try to like bombarding a planet before you assault a planet, so that way, you know, you don't lose a bunch of dudes that are in garrisoned and buildings and just shooting at your guys landing, which you don't actually see. It'd be really cool if they made like a square that showed you like what the battle on the planet looks like, but what can you do? And then, as you guys already know, this is the Spaceport tab. That's where we're going to build our colony ship. It does cost 300 minerals, which is a decent amount. So usually if you're going to go for that, you want to wait a little bit until your economy is pretty good, because also once you build a colony ship, it drains 8 energy from your energy credit income. So be prepared for that. Oh god, I cannot stop yawning, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's zoom out. Let's go back over here. So it looks like he's having a rough time looking at all this stuff. He doesn't really seem like there's much over here. There's just this one mineral section. Hopefully, you know, he'll get over here. Maybe let's speed it up just a little bit. So this is like the speed that I usually play with, and then once like I get farther into it, I start clicking on fast, so it's still going kind of, you can see the days are cruising by pretty quick, but not too quick. And as you can see, we've hit 200 credits. So I want to click on my assign ship. I'll double click, assign leader, recruit, and look, there he is, research speed, bada boom, bada bang. Do you do it? There we go. And then you'll double click him, or just single click him, and look, we got a science ship with a scientist. Imagine that. So we're going to send him way over here. Click.
Anomaly found.
Ooh, anomaly. So you see how it's red? That means that we aren't really at a level that is going to effectively research the anomaly. So I leave it be until I have them at like 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever level it makes this, you know, either like a normal like silver, or if it turns green, which means it's going to be really easy. So leave it be. It'll still be there when we come back. So our science ship is going to go over here and start surveying that one. Then we'll shift, right click, survey system, survey system, survey system. And then we'll go back and we'll check on like this one and this one. I can tell that there's no hyperspace lanes exiting from here. So nobody's going to be like sneaking up from like over here to here. Not until they get wormholes, which is later in the game. And I can tell that this one also has no way to like reach from here to here or here to here. So that's convenient. Oh, look at that. 3 energy credits. So right off the back, it's looking pretty nice. Oh wow, there's a
anomaly found.
Oh, another anomaly. So leave it be. That one looks like it's gonna take a long time too. And then let's go ahead and come over here and build a research station on Luna, because it's gonna give us 2 physics research, which is gonna go towards this right here. So we're getting 161 out of 7, or we have 161 out of 750, and we get 6 per month. So not a lot. But you can see that, you know, some of our research is going by relatively quickly. We got 91 more months of this, 49 months, and 24 months. So this is our mining network. So that's going to be huge. That's going to boost our economy a ton. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. It's been like 30 minutes, and that's kind of a lot of information to take in on the first game. I know it's kind of a lot. We'll kind of go over some more in the next one about basics, and maybe we'll do an outpost, or a starbase I should say, and that way we can go ahead and see a little bit more gameplay, and we can start to dive into the depths of the complexity of this game. So I just want to say thank you so much for checking out the page, or the channel, and the video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a like. If you want me to do something in particular, or if you have questions, leave me a comment. I will try my best to get back to you as quickly as I can. Let's pause that. And if you want to, see more videos like this, I'm going to be playing games like They Are Billions, Paladins, Fallout, Dawn of War, just a ton of different games. Subscribe to the channel if you like it. Share a video if you think that it would help you, or if your friends think about playing the game. But yeah, again, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed the video.